On a scorching afternoon in the heart of the city, where the noise of traffic drowned out the cries of the weak, a tiny voice broke through the chaos. A child's whisper, "Please, just a little water." No one paid attention. People walked past, too busy, too tired, too cold. But fate had already decided that this moment, this plea for a sip of water, would change not just one life, but the lives of many. At the edge of a bustling street sat a boy, no older than 10. His clothes were torn, his face smudged with dust, his eyes hollow with hunger. He wasn't begging for food or money or toys. All he asked for was water. Child weakly, "Please, can anyone give me some water? My throat, it burns." Narrator. A woman in heels walked by, holding a bottle of sparkling water, but she clutched it tighter and turned her face away. A man in a suit shook his head and muttered, "Another beggar." Cars honked, the city roared. The boy's voice grew fainter. At that very corner, a long black car came to a halt. The doors opened and out stepped a man whose name echoed in headlines, one of the richest men in the world. His watch could buy a house. His shoes cost more than an average man's salary. The crowd whispered, pointing, "It's him, the billionaire." Billionaire, to his assistant, "Why are we stopping here?" Assistant, "Traffic, sir. It should clear in a moment." Narrator. As he waited impatiently, his eyes fell on the little boy. Their gaze met, one filled with weariness and pain, the other with power and pride. Child in a whisper, "Sir, please, just water." For a second, time froze. The billionaire who had silenced boardrooms with a word was speechless. His assistant scoffed, "Don't mind him, sir. He's just another homeless child. We should move on." But something deep inside the billionaire stirred. He stepped out of his car. The crowd gasped. Billionaires didn't step onto dirty sidewalks, but this one did. Billionaire, kneeling down, "What did you say, child?" Child, I only asked for water." Narrator. The boy's lips were cracked, his hands trembling. The billionaire stared, unable to believe that in a world overflowing with wealth and luxury, a child had to beg for the most basic gift of life.
The billionaire stood tall and ordered his driver, "Bring me a bottle of water, now." The assistant frowned, but obeyed. In moments, the child drank greedily, water spilling down his chin. Tears rolled down his cheeks, not because he was full, but because, for the first time, someone saw him. Crowd murmurs. Why would a man like him care for a child like that? But the shock was only beginning. The billionaire turned to the people around him. "Do you see this boy? You walked past him. You ignored his cry. But what if it were your child? What if it were you?" The silence was deafening. The crowd lowered their eyes. The billionaire, to his assistant, "Cancel my next meeting. Take this boy with us." The assistant, shocked, "Sir, but why?" "Because no child should ever beg for water while men like me own oceans." The billionaire didn't just give the boy water. He took him to the hospital, fed him, clothed him. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. The boy, once weak and forgotten, began to smile, to learn, to dream. The billionaire enrolled him in the best school, provided tutors, and ensured he had every chance at life. Child, to billionaire one day, "Why did you help me, sir, when no one else did?" Billionaire, "Because once, long ago, I was that child." The truth spilled. The billionaire had grown up poor, hungry, and forgotten. He had begged for food, for water, for kindness. And now that he held the world in his hands, he had vowed to never let another child feel that pain. The boy grew up into a young man, educated, strong, and full of compassion. Years later, he built an organization funded by the billionaire that gave clean drinking water to thousands of poor children across the world. And it all began with one whisper on a hot afternoon. Please, just a little water. Wealth isn't counted by the cars we drive or the houses we own. True wealth is the ability to see the invisible, to hear the unheard, to give when no one else will. Remember this, a simple act of kindness can ripple through generations.